John Wayne Gacy was born on March 17, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois. He was the second of three children in a working-class family. His father, John Stanley Gacy, was a World War I veteran and an alcoholic who often beat his children and belittled John, calling him weak and unmanly. His mother, Marion Elaine Robinson, tried to protect him, but she couldn't stop the abuse. From a young age, Gacy craved his father's approval, but never received it. As a child, Gacy suffered from serious health issues. At age 11, he developed a blood clot in his brain that caused frequent blackouts. He spent months in the hospital and missed school, which isolated him further from his peers. He avoided sports and preferred helping his mother around the house, which only made his father more aggressive. Gacy was shy, overweight, and constantly bullied at school. In his late teens, he dropped out of high school and moved to Las Vegas, where he worked as a janitor in a mortuary. There, he had a disturbing experience. He once laid next to the body of a dead teenage boy and felt a strange mix of emotions. That moment would stay with him for the rest of his life. After returning to Chicago, he attended business school and began working in sales. In 1964, he married Marilyn Myers. They moved to Waterloo, Iowa, where Gacy managed 3 KFC restaurants owned by his father-in-law. He was known in the community as a charismatic and successful man. He joined civic organizations and hosted parties. He even began dressing as a clown to perform at children's hospitals and community events, calling himself Pogo the Clown and sometimes Patches. But behind this smiling mask, a predator was growing. In 1968, Gacy was arrested and convicted for sexually assaulting 2 teenage boys. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison. His wife divorced him and took custody of their children. Gacy served only 18 months before being released on parole in 1970. He moved back in with his mother and swore he would change. He started a new life in a new neighborhood, opened a construction company called PDM Contractors, and hired young men for small jobs. He became involved in local politics, even posing for a photo with First Lady Rosalynn Carter. No one suspected he was hiding one of the most horrifying secrets in American history. Between 1972 and 1978, Gacy raped, tortured, and murdered at least 33 boys and young men. He lured them with job offers or promised them money. Once inside his house, he used tricks like fake handcuff games to trap them. He would then beat, sexually assault, and strangle them. He often used a rope or a tourniquet and called it his rope trick. 29 of his victims were buried in the crawl space beneath his house. 4 others were thrown into nearby rivers. The stench from his home was overwhelming, but he blamed it on plumbing issues. In December 1978, 15-year-old Robert Piest disappeared after telling his mother he was going to meet a contractor for a job. That contractor was Gacy. When police investigated, they discovered a horrifying collection of evidence in Gacy's house: personal belongings of missing boys, handcuffs, and finally, the remains buried under the floor. On December 21, 1978, Gacy confessed to the murders. He described everything in chilling detail, showing no remorse. He was charged with 33 counts of murder and went to trial in 1980. The jury found him guilty, and he was sentenced to death. While on death row, Gacy painted hundreds of clown-themed artworks that were sold to collectors. He gave interviews where he denied some of the crimes and showed no guilt. He became one of the most hated and feared criminals in American history. On May 10, 1994, John Wayne Gacy was executed by lethal injection. His last words were, "Kiss my ass." The story of John Wayne Gacy is one of manipulation, deception, and unimaginable cruelty. He was not a monster hiding in the shadows. He was the man next door, the one wearing a smile and holding balloons while hiding the truth beneath the floorboards.